I'm pretty excited about this interview. You know that a few weeks ago I had this interview with Nancy from Smart Adaptive Clothing. She's in the public now. She's reading. She's saying hello. And that was the first interview about this theme. This is the second, and it has a slightly different approach, or maybe a different focus, I would say, or point of view. I will have some more, but hello. Oh, here she is. Okay. So I have just invited Devon to join us. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm cool. I'm excited.
Beautiful. We have matching lipsticks.
It's like we knew.
Very good. So, I haven't introduced the topic yet. Stay healthy. I'm just reading some comments. What is it? Stay healthy. Try to exercise. Get dressed and stick to your routine. Stay social. That's because I was asking for some survival tips in these days, and while we were waiting for you, and these are some ideas that they sent us. So, thank you. The angel, I think, is saying you both look great. So, thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll do a little introduction, and then I will leave the word to you and questions, because this is a topic.
Yeah. Talk about anything. Discuss anything.
Right. So I think an hour will not be enough, but it's a good start. So. So for those who got to my profile through Devon's and do not know me, my name is Angela, and I am a personal image consultant and personal shopper based in Milan. Famous Milan for so many different things lately, so hopefully we're gonna get back being famous for fashion and beauty. But I started these interviews because I believe that, and I still believe that beauty is a good therapy for all of us, especially when we are living periods like these ones that are a little bit heavier and different and somehow unexpected. I started a few months, actually, on my, I think, 10 day of lockdown. I started a series of videos called Shop in Your Wardrobe. This is the hashtag that I'm using, because I thought that was the best way for me to keep my mood high. And then once I, went on doing that, I discovered that this shopping in your wardrobe meant actually much more to me. It meant like digging not just in my drawers, but in my personal resources and personal knowledge and contacts and friends to find different ways to live this different routine. And because one of the things that, hello to all the newcomers in the public, and because diversity styling and fashion inclusion has been a very important theme for me in the last almost a year, I would say, I decided that this would be a great opportunity to talk about themes that, at least in Italy, are not so common. And I'm so glad that actually Devon, you and Angel as well were so available to talk about it and to share this interview with other people. And I believe that there are some people that already know something about this. Maybe there are people that don't know, or actually have a complete also a perception that is completely so far from what it should be. So I believe this is going to be a great occasion to raise some awareness and maybe change something, contribute a little bit. So please, this is your time. You can feel free to introduce yourself. I'm so excited, really. I've been waiting for this interview, and I've been preparing myself for this interview. So introduce yourself.
Okay, so my name is Devon. I'm 21. I am an ambassador for Models of Diversity, and I just wanted to let everyone know that I am profoundly deaf. So I rely heavily on lip reading, and I wear hearing aids. And I have the rare condition called PFFD, so I wear a prosthetic leg. That's me in a nutshell.
My God, I actually went through the whole your profile after talking to you, and I was like, oh, okay. So, and that's the proof that we're so involved in stereotypes, and we're getting so much wrong information about everything that is so diverse from us. And I'm so glad that we can be talking about it and learn something new. So thank you. I actually when I read your blog, and there's well, there are so many sentences that I was just like, wow. And I thought, what, when did you, because beauty in general, people, sometimes when people take too much care of themselves, or even take a little bit more care of themselves, sometimes they are perceived like superficial, and they, other people may think, oh, but because you take so much care of yourself, because you put on so much makeup, or because you care about the clothes that you buy, maybe you don't care about anything else. So since we know this is not really like that, but beauty is more of a tool, when did you find or understand that beauty fashion could be a way to express yourself?
Well, I guess with my disabilities, I sometimes feel like I'm like two people. So I feel like I can be quite confident and loud and bold, and sometimes I think I can be quite quiet. So I think I like to use fashion and beauty to kind of show both sides of my personality. I especially like using fashion to kind of express myself, because I can kind of wear clothing that hides parts of my body that I'm insecure about, and then wear some clothing that kind of accentuate things I'm comfortable with, like my figure, or showing off my leg. Have you seen pictures of my leg?
I did.
Yeah, so it's like funky colours. So I like to wear black and red to match it, because it's kind of like a accessory almost. Quite fun. And I love fashion and beauty, because there isn't a rule. You can just do your own thing and express yourself through colours and styles. So yeah, I just like to try and use fashion to kind of embrace my disabilities, and kind of and just show them off, really. That makes sense.
Yeah. So may I ask you, what has it always been like that, or you started being more self confident, as I say, maybe later? Because I believe that there are so many girls, I mean even boys, of course, but because we're talking to you, then that maybe are living your same situation, but that they are not maybe brave enough or confident enough to express themselves. Maybe they don't feel like they deserve to be beautiful. So maybe you can share what your process was.
Well, yeah, I guess when I was younger, I was really insecure, and I was really shy and quiet, and I used to kind of wear really baggy clothes to try and kind of hide my leg, and I would always wear thick coloured tights, so I would try and hide it so no one could see my leg. And then a few years ago, I got a really colourful leg. It was red and black, and I walked out of the hospital wearing it, and I had a little dress on, and I just felt really comfortable and confident. And I remember people staring at me, but just looking oh wow, and then they just carried on. And I was actually, it's good to just embrace yourself and just get out there, and you don't always need to hide yourself. So I mean, it definitely takes time, But I think especially with fashion, you know, it's so like artistic and inventive. You can kind of use that and just kind of be like, this is me, take it or leave it.
Well, I think this is a powerful message, because usually, you know, as a personal stylist, people come to me and they ask, how can I, you know, solve this physical problems? And they have, you know, completely different problems. Let's say somebody feels that they're too thin, some others feel that they're too curvy, some others feel that they're too tall, some have problems with their feet, and they're all so focused on what is wrong. Let's say, you know, what is wrong for them when they look at themselves in the mirror, while when you look at them from the outside, you don't share that perception, right? It's completely different. So it's something that comes within yourself. And what I try to tell them is, okay, let's forget what you think is wrong and focus on everything else that is good. Because I always feel like, of course, there are some conditions that at the start we feel like, why me? Probably. I read something about that in your blog, and I'm sure it's not easy. But again, because this is the body we're given, the best thing we can do is accept it and make the best out of it. So
you only have one body, so you have to just, you know, just embrace it and just try and kind of just see the more positive side. And maybe just try and wear clothing that makes you feel good or makes it look good, you know?
Right. So work with what we have, which is something that we are a little bit forced to do now because we cannot go out. So we have to find inspiration from what is like really in our flats or homes. But that's the same thing with our body. I mean, our body is our home somehow. So if we need to make it feel good for us, and I'm sure that once we embrace that point of view, we're actually able to discover so many other amazing things that it can do. I guess this is also what happened to you.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, so personal styling is about, you know, focusing on the positive things. Yeah. And also, once you focus on positive things, even the ones that you feel like they're not really right, then they become right. They're part of that,
then you're like,
of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I watched all your pictures, and because also I was doing this research, and I'm amazed because we've been taught basically that disability and everything that is different from the standard, which is something that somebody else said it was supposed to be the standard, right? It's not good.
Yeah.
So everything that is normal is not good. This is how we've been raised, basically. So it is really hard, even when you believe that this is not right, it is hard to get into a new point of view. And I believe that what you're doing and what other models and even other influencers, let's say, are doing, using beauty as a tool to express themselves, this is really, really powerful, because I guess disability, and most of the time they're addressed with, you know, medical issues or political issues, and I guess you also have lots to say about that. But beauty is somehow left behind. At least in Italy, it's not like a topic that is yet so common to be associated to disability. Any type of diversity. And if it is addressed, then it's something that is like, oh, it's too much. You know, why are they doing that? They're just showing off. While I believe we need to find normality into this, and we need to find a balance. So we need to be like, oh, wow, yes, I mean, that's fine. It has to be like that. It shouldn't be different from that.
Yeah.
So when did you... for example, if because you're modeling, when did you start modeling?
When?
Yes.
I kind of started, I think, oh my gosh, last year, I think, like properly.
Right.
Because it's actually a funny story, because it was my birthday, my 21st birthday, and my mum actually booked in a photo shoot for me. And I had like no idea, and I just did it, and I just tried to be really confident and just to get all of my insecurities and just have fun with it. And then I just had so much fun, and I loved it, and I loved the images. And then from then I just kept doing it. And I'd like be a model.
So you got lots of support from your family, from your mom as well, which is quite important, I guess. Yeah. But I think this is also a very good message for all those girls that maybe if they cannot find support in their families, maybe they can find support in communities. And I mean, you're also ambassador for Mothers of Diversity. That's a huge community. I watched the video and it's so touching, but so true. So,
what was it?
Excuse me? I lost you.
What video was it?
The presentation video of it's an interview about Mothers of Diversity, so about the concept and also what are the, let's say, what's the wish list towards the fashion industry to change and embrace diversity like 360 degrees. How did you become an ambassador? When did you learn about the community?
Well, I guess I feel like everything happened after I did the photo shoot, because I started posting the pictures on like social media, and I got quite a lot of attention. And then I think, you know, Angel just loved that picture that I did, and then she just kind of asked me to be an ambassador, and I've always followed Models of Diversity as like a charity, and I've always loved them and thought it was really important, like the work they were doing. And then I just felt like I wanted to do something really important in my life. I really wanted to be like a disabled model for other people, to hopefully like inspire them. And then I got into that, and I'd love to be a part of it and help.
And what are the brands that you model for?
Pardon?
Or what are the brands that you model for? Or if you cannot say the name of the brands, maybe the type of clothes or accessories, or what do you model for?
I modelled for, well, I mean, I did London Fashion Week. I walked in London Fashion Week, which was amazing. This was of Oliver Jude, his clothing. But that's the only kind of like brand work that I've done right now. I was actually supposed to do another fashion show, but then obviously because of the coronavirus, it all got cancelled. So I haven't really worked with a brand yet, but I'm hoping to. I kind of want to be like a glamour model, because I really want to challenge like the negative stereotypes, because I feel like there's still this stigma that disabled people can't be sexy, and I really think that's really like unfair, and it's so like old-fashioned thinking. So I really want to go like all out. I do like some like lingerie modelling and be like, you know, disabled people can be sexy and beautiful, and they can feel that way. So yeah, happy to do that.
Well, it's you need a lot to be very, very brave, and to I think this is a very powerful message for everybody who is, you know, listening to us, because many times maybe you are not experiencing such a disability, but you still feel that you're not, you know, good enough or beautiful enough or just enough for whatever you need to do. And while when you face the things like, you know, from the front and then just say, okay, I'll do it. And let's see what happens, and that's when great things happen, like in your case. So that's so great. And London Fashion Week, that was, I guess, that was amazing. I mean, what happened when you received the offer? What did you think?
Pardon? Sorry. Pardon?
What happened when you received the offer to model for London Fashion Week?
Oh my God. because I did the pictures, and then suddenly I was, you know, walking London Fashion Week. I was like, wow, like this is only what like dreams are made of. I mean, I was really nervous because I'm quite self-conscious of the way I walk because of my prosthetic leg. Like I have a bit of like a limp. So I was a bit, I was very nervous, and I was like, oh my God, you know, am I going to fall? But I just kind of wanted to get out there and just be like, I want to walk for every disabled person, child, you know, who needs a role model that they can aspire to. People, you know, like disabled people who haven't seen that many disabled people models in the industry, especially walking the catwalk. I feel like you don't really see a lot of people with disabilities. So I just kind of was like, you know, I'm proud to walk for them. That makes sense? But yeah,
Oh, yes, yes.
Positive, amazing experience ever.
Yeah, I think we all need some role models because we all have our own issues and insecurities. So seeing somebody like us that is doing great things can be very, very helpful. Again, because there are, especially for around disabilities, there are so many stereotypes, and we're so used to the negative perception of it that somehow we feel we really don't deserve the nice things of life, and the message that you're spreading is just yeah. So you were also featured in some magazines.
Oh, sorry, it lied. Can you say that again?
Yes, the line is a little bit unstable. I said, let's see. Can you hear me? Okay,
yeah,
so...
Sorry, carry on.
Okay, it got stuck, yes. I was saying that you were featured in magazines.
Yeah. Yeah, I was featured in Refinery 29. Have you read that article? Have you seen it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know whether...
It's where I spoke about using... Sorry. It's not lagging. What did you say?
I was waiting for you to answer about the magazines you were featured in.
Yeah, so I was featured in Refinery 29, which is where I kind of spoke about using social media as a way to enforce the idea that people with disabilities can be sexy and they can feel that way. I kind of spoke about the fact that I do post quite like sexy pictures to kind of show my sultry side and to also talk about my disabilities openly. I spoke about how I still feel that there's this idea that people with disabilities that they're not seen as like sexy, and I feel like that's just not right, and it's really old-fashioned. And I just feel like that perception needs to be changed because it's so negative, and I just feel like, you know, the media is becoming more accepting, but I feel like society still needs to be a bit more accepting of different people.
Right. May I ask you, because I also do personal shopping, so when I go and select clothes for my clients, I always look for the right thing for the right person. So I'm wondering if I can ask, have you, if we had to talk to fashion companies, mainstream or smaller brands, but very, let's say, standard brands, traditional brands, what would you tell them? What have you ever faced issues in finding the right thing for you in shops, for example?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess adapted clothing.
I'm just wondering whether you, if you had ever experienced any issues in traditional shops, and what can be improved in fashion And what would you say to fashion companies?
Well, I guess I kind of struggle with anything on the top, on the bottom half because of my body shape and my prosthetic leg. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can. Yeah. The line is a little bit unset, but yeah, go on, please.
So it's like anything on the bottom half because of my body shape. Because I've got quite like a big bum and a small waist, it can be difficult to like find trousers and jeans. I mean, I feel like a lot of people probably have this problem, but like jeans, they can be quite hard to put on my leg because my prosthetic leg is straight. It can be quite difficult. So if maybe they could have like a zip or something that I could literally just kind of put on, if that makes sense, that'd be a lot easier for me. Or like a zip or a button. I kind of struggle with shoes because of my prosthetic foot. It's not like the same size as my right foot. So sometimes I've had to buy like 2 pairs of the same shoes so then I could wear them because they're different size. So I feel like it'd be really good if they could kind of change that a little bit. I don't know how, but if you could buy like separate shoes in different sizes, it probably sounds a bit silly. I'm sure
I think it's not a problem. Yeah, no, of course. I mean, I think you're giving ideas that maybe not everybody has the chance to share, and I hope that there are some brands following us and listening to us that can collect these ideas and make them, and realize them. So that would be great. And what do you think? So what do you think is the situation in UK, and if you know around the world about disabled models, do you think we are getting to a more aware point, or is there still lots to do?
Can you say that again? You cut out.
Yeah, no, I was saying because you're into the community and you're so active. What is where did you get? I mean, what is the point of awareness around the globe? I would say about disability, fashion, disabled models, and their inclusion in everything that is the fashion system.
What was the first half of the question?
This is when everybody is on the internet and the connection is getting crazy. Okay, no, I was saying, what is the presence of disabled models around the world? Is it increasing, or is it still something that is actually starting? What's the situation about the disabled models?
Oh, okay. Well, I definitely feel like it is improving. Say like the Royal and Tommy Hilfiger, they're being really inclusive and they're using disabled models when advertising their adaptive clothing. There is like a lingerie company that is for colostomy bags, which is brilliant. Lounge underwear was like using a model on a scooter to model the underwear, which was, just really good. So it's definitely getting better. But I feel like the fashion industry needs to see disabled people as more than their disabilities and like just include them equally and represent them fairly. Like we want to see people modelling lingerie with prosthetic legs. We want to see people in wheelchairs modelling artistic clothes. We want to see people with all different types of disabilities on the catwalk. Like there's so many people with different disabilities that it doesn't make sense to not represent them equally.
Of course. What do you think, how How do you think that can happen? Do you need people, fashion companies need to have a higher presence, maybe, of disabled designers inside the company, that maybe understand better what are the actual needs of people with disabilities and different disabilities, which it's actually so broad. It's not just there are actually many different, and they all need to have their own space and needs satisfied.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like sometimes they don't use disabled models consistently. Like, I don't know, like sometimes they might just use one disabled model and then that's it. Like we want to see disabled models in every poster, advert. We want to see like a collection rather than necessarily always having one, if that makes sense.
Well, if I think about, for example, in Italy, all the collections for curvier women or even for pregnant women, this is something that is still very limited. Of course, it increased in the last years, but it's still limited. Like, it is a special collection, and I feel that with adaptive clothing, we're still like so much at the beginning, at least here in Italy. So maybe you find a couple of pieces, or maybe you find a lot online, but when you walk down the streets, you don't really see much, or maybe you don't see anything, or maybe what you find in shops needs to be modified. So maybe there should be a specific department for that makes that research and that development. Also, because
definitely. I mean, have you spoken about international disabled models?
Yes, well, here in Italy it is not so common. So the only world I can look at is the international world, and somebody is commenting tokenism.
Yeah. Shall I say something?
Well, would you add something? Would you add something about that from your experience, or what? For maybe from the feedbacks that you're receiving from people who are following you, or brands who are following you. Yeah, I think many people don't really know much. So
it's lagging so much. Can you say that again?
Yes, if you could say something more about the tokenism as far as disability modeling is concerned.
Well, yeah, I guess that there is a lack of international disabled models being used constantly, and it comes across as tokenism, how you say it. I just feel like the media and fashion industry, they only make like symbolic effort to be inclusive to members of minority groups, to give off the appearance of like racial and disability equality within those industries. So I just feel like the industries aren't actually representing them fairly. They'll just represent them once or twice to make it look like they are being inclusive, when they're not representing them frequently.
Yeah, we have a comment. We need to find disabled models featured on more advertising campaigns. It should be normal.
Oh, spoken. Oh my gosh, it's frozen.
Okay, can you see me normally?
Oh my god.
Okay, I can hear you. So
Yeah,
I was saying that we have a comment that there should be more disabled models featured on more advertising campaign, and that it should be normal. And then more, you do see more in America than any other countries. So probably.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like disabled models like should be on every campaign, poster, advert. You know, they should always be there. You know, and it shouldn't always just be one. There should be like a few people with different disabilities, and it doesn't always necessarily need to be that visible. And it doesn't always need to be highlighting their disability. It's just the fact that they are being included and represented fairly.
And well, since you've done so much, what are your next projects? Because you're so ambitious. I was saying, because you're so ambitious, are there any projects that you can share with us that are not secret?
Is there any what?
Any projects, any new projects you are working on that you can share with us?
Me?
Something that we should.
Well, I'm hoping to maybe do some modelling for like lingerie companies. Maybe. But there's like a few ideas. I mean, I can't really say names, but there's a few. They might see me pop up. Like a little varnishes.
Oh, wow. We're looking forward to that.
There's a few ideas, but because of the virus, it's just all been stopped because I had like a few offers come in, and then this all happened, so I'm just kind of waiting really.
Right.
But yeah, I've got a few ideas.
They said that
I mean, I kind of wanted to talk about.
There's a comment for you. You do see. No, sorry, Devon. I love everything you said. You look beautiful. In department stores, we should have a section that has adaptable clothing.
Oh, adaptable clothing. Can we talk about that?
Of course.
Yeah.
We have like
the fashion industry.
We have like 15 minutes. I said we have like 15 minutes before Instagram decides that we've talked too much.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, it's just. Can you see me?
I can.
Oh, okay. Keep sight freezing. Well. Oh, should I talk about the adaptive clothing?
Please feel free to add anything you think should be useful and should be said.
Well, I do feel like the fashion industry needs to be better with making clothing with, like for disabled people, like adaptive clothing. It needs to be in the big brand stores like Topshop or New Look. Because like there are adaptive clothing out there, but I feel like they tend to be quite hidden, and you have to try and seek them out, and you don't know like where the stores are, if they're online, how to find them. And I personally find that sometimes they can be quite inaccessible in terms of price, because I think I tried to find adapted shoes and they were too expensive for me, and I just felt a bit like if you can't actually pay for it, you know, like what's the point?
Right.
Personally, I think adaptive clothing should be the same as regular clothing, say like in Topshop, but then they have like maybe a section that's adapted. So I feel like sometimes you don't necessarily need to have like a whole line of adaptive clothing. It should just be included. maybe have like a small label that says A, so people know maybe it's adapted. In my opinion, I kind of feel like adapted clothing tends to be a bit dull and boring. I don't mean it in a horrible way, but I feel like they tend to kind of, they're aimed at kind of older people instead of the younger generation. So I feel like adapted clothing needs to be bigger, and just out there, and hopefully just in just the normal shop, so people will know like where to look for them.
Right. And probably they need to be more fun, as you said. Sometimes they are a bit dull.
Yeah, and I also find when the clothing are being advertised, I feel like they don't always necessarily use models that are actually going to be wearing them, and I feel like they need to make sure that they are using disabled models and other models to ensure that there is equal representation.
Right.
That's what I think.
Of course. Of course. No, I mean, in traditional fashion lines, they develop their collections based on the model's figure. So, you know, every collection needs their model figures. So that's exactly exactly a good point.
Yeah, and I did have an idea that maybe in like the big shopping centres, they could have like a little like business that maybe made the adaptation for the clothes, maybe. So then like you could buy something from Topshop and then go to that business company and be like, oh, I need to have dip here, or I need buttons here, maybe. I guess there's like a few ideas that you could do it. But I just feel like it just needs to be bigger and out there, because I think a lot of people don't know like where to go if they want adapted clothing. I think that's
right. So also an accessible service to restyle if needed, or to make some, if you need to modify some pieces, that should be an affordable service for everybody, not just a luxury service.
Yeah, that. Sometimes they're a bit too expensive, and I'm like, well, I couldn't even buy it. So.
Right. So, well, because let's also comment. In Italy, how are disabled community accepting the fashion industry? My sense about it is that there is no talk about this. They started saying something. So I hope there is somebody there listening to me who will say that this is not like I am saying, but my feeling is that there is no talking about this, that yet people, even who could be more involved, feel like fashion should not be affected. Like it's, you know, they talk more about how to help people with disabilities get a job, which is, of course, important and fundamental for living. But everything that is that concerns beauty, it's still seen as something superficial. I think it got like, when I first asked somebody who have been listening to me for a while know about this story, but the first time that I talked to an association that was supposed to help women with cancer get better, and I asked them, what do you think about giving them some beauty sessions to just distract them, you know, and help them look at themselves in a different way? They said, oh no, the only concern that they have is to feel better. So medicine, you know. So, and this is, and now after 10 years, some things are happening there. And I'm actually personally volunteering for an organization that provides free beauty sessions to people that are under cancer treatments, right? Oncology treatments. And I think we are now, like 10 years ago for that, we're now for disability fashion. So I think there's no talk about it. If you talk about it, it's seen like something weird, and there are more important things to talk about rather than fashion and feeling beautiful. I obviously don't share that idea. Have you, as a stylist, worked with disabled clients? I never worked with clients that had, how would you say that? And I'm sorry if I use the wrong words, like heavier disabilities. I worked with people that had problems, for example, with their feet, that had problems of slightly asymmetrical bodies, that maybe had like a slightly a shorter leg, so they needed to, slightly a shorter arm, so we need to remodel some suits, for example. And I had some people that were colorblind, so we had to work with that. But I don't have, the reason why I am so concerned about fashion inclusion is more a feeling that I have that we should all be more concerned about it. So I'm still learning, and I'm still trying to figure out. I know I should contribute. Yeah, I know as a stylist, my mission is to help everybody feeling better. I still feel I don't have all the tools. And this is why I'm doing this research, and I'm so happy that we can have this conversation today. So there is so much to do, so much.
Yeah.
And but I do have, for all my guests, I have a question, because all these interviews are about. Oh. I see. Am I frozen? Okay. Can I talk? Okay. I think now the connection is back. I mean, all of you listening to us, I think you're heroes, because you went through all the connection problems. Thank you for staying almost an hour with us. Yeah, no, I have a question for all my guests, because you know that I'm doing these videos under this hashtag shop in your wardrobe. So every day I have this commitment to myself to get dressed and put on makeup, even if I'm locked at home. So what are you wearing today? What are you wearing today? What did you find in your wardrobe?
Oh my god. Well, I'm just buying like some jeans and like a cute little top.
Wonderful makeup. I mean, you're so good.
I like your outfit.
You like my outfit?
Yeah, very nice.
I put on flowers because I saw your pictures and I thought flowers would fit.
Definitely. And I bet that inclusion, like you said. I thought that was good.
So let's see if anybody has any questions for Devon or for me as well, if I can answer. Or you both look lovely. Thank you. Thank you. So we have some minutes to answer your questions. Or for you, Devon, if you want to add something. So I was saying we can wait a little bit to see if there are any questions, or if you have something. You both look stunning, ladies. Well, thank you. Oh, Minnie, I saw her profile. I love that. She's also an ambassador for Models of Diversity. I saw from India, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my God, can you hear me?
Yes. Because Models of Diversity is not just a community for disabled models, but for models of all. No, I was saying models of diversity. This is hilarious. I think this is the.
Yeah.
No, that models of diversity is not just a community for disabled models, but for all types of models.
Perché stavo vendendo il pavimento.
And let's see. Well, I hope Devon will come back. Okay, you're back. I was saying that models of diversity is a community for all types, for models. So it's really like a very inclusive community.
Ti piacerà questo regalo?
Dai vicino alla mamma, Giulia.
It's for everyone, yes.
Mamma, vai la
And I can...
Come si fa a facciare? All types of abilities, everybody's shape, colour, size. That's what I love about it.
Would you like to share your own website and the community website so anyone can go and check what you're doing?
My website, yeah, I mean, it's just devonworld.com.
Vediamo come è venuta.
I just talk about my...
Mamma, così.
Vediamo.
Così.
Con quella migliore settugina.
Rifacciamo, è vero. Rifacciamo.
Vuoi farla?
Sì, per la mamma. Papà, lo accendiamo.
Vai vicino alla mamma.
Papà, lo accendere io.
Come devo fare?
You are watching us from, and Devon, all the best.
È pronta?
I wish you all the best.
No, non verso lì, verso lì.
I was saying goodbye.
Thank you for having me. Sorry it's so
Hai fatto un
slow.
bel sorriso o fa stupidire?
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much.